Hey guys, JG here. Before this video gets started, make sure to subscribe to the TMK channel for all of our content. We got JG's Movie Night, we got Look Ma No Helmet, and our newest edition, Obscurities of the Silver Screen. Now, it isn't necessarily a new show. Obscurities is a podcast I would do with Remy Grey, and we watched movies we never heard of with zany titles. Now, we're interested in making new episodes for YouTube and podcasting platforms, but in order to do that, we need your help. If you like this podcast and you find it funny, you want more, help us get this video to 1,000 likes. I know that sounds crazy, right? But hey, let's shoot for the moon, why not? Tell your friends about it, share it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, I don't know, is Tumblr still a thing? Let's do that too. If we all band together, we can resurrect this amazing show. Thanks for listening to my little spiel, and now sit back, relax, and enjoy Obscurities of the Silver Screen.
Hey boss, I've been reading this comic book, and I think it would make a great cereal.
And
I don't mean like cereal. I mean like what we put in the movie theater before the movies. Because it's 1949. See?
Right. All right. Hit me with what you got.
It's called The Batman.
I don't like it, but let's keep going.
It's a man dressed as a bat.
Okay.
And he fights crime
Little
this little boy.
Okay, a little freaky.
Yeah, and they both sleep on the same bed.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. And they fight crime. All right, so they got some cool villains. So they got the Joker. He's like this clown that walks around, you know. They got the Riddler. He loves to tell riddles.
Yeah.
The Penguin. He's kind of like this fat, stubby guy who goes, you know, who has like all these umbrellas and whatnot. Really cool. Do any of those interest you?
No. You know what? What about the Wizard?
That's not a Batman.
All right, I'll take it. The Wizard it is.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2019 still.
A brand new year.
A brand new year.
A new year.
3 episodes into the year now, so...
still brand new.
Still brand new.
Still fresh. Still hot.
Fresh.
Still crisp.
Yeah, it is February now. And we decided to do something a little different this time around for this episode. It's going to be a 3-part episode.
Yeah,
so the next 3 episodes, this one included, it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Like just more of it. And what it we'll explain more in that. But yeah, we want to do something a little different.
Yeah.
You know, switch it up.
I'm a big fan of this character or whatever. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
We watched a Batman and Robin. Not the movie. You might be thinking, wait, you guys already watched Batman and Robin.
Right.
No. Guys, this was made in 1949, and it is a serial. And if you don't know what a serial is, they would like show these 15-minute segments each at movie theaters before movies.
Yeah.
And back in the old days,
a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, when you went to the movieplex, and then you'd say, well, this is where I came in, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they only showed like one movie at a time.
Yeah.
And so they would have like these serials, and they'd say, come back to this theater next week for the next rousing episode. And literally, that's how every episode of this show ends. So yeah, it's 15 episodes in totality. Well, I said totality.
Congrats.
Really weird.
Yeah, no, you just like jumped into that because I thought you were going to say total, but you just stretched it and made it fancy.
Totality.
Yeah. Totality.
And so we are going to do only 4 of the episodes this week, and then come back next week for another rousing episode where we'll do the next 5. Then after that, the last 6.
Yeah.
So the whole thing
crank
together,
it up each time.
The whole thing together is about 4 hours, so we're watching about 80 minutes each time.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're gonna do with this, and this was fun. You know, I chose it because I remember watching this as a kid. I had a VHS collection of it.
You said that it was like 5 VHSs or something crazy?
No, 2. It was only 2. It was only 2. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, could you imagine?
He said 2, and I was like, whoa. So, sorry, I just exaggerated in my mind. It's like Titanic.
Or like the Lord of the Rings.
I had a 2 VHS of Titanic.
So yeah, we this was... I pitched this to Remy to do because I was like, dude, look at these fucking costumes. It looks wild, and
I've seen these photos before, but I've never actually seen this series.
Yeah, and I was like, I remember this not like I remember as a kid liking it a lot, but I was like, okay, it's probably not that good, right?
It's pretty fucking rad, though.
It's pretty fucking rad. I mean, we kind of start off laughing at it.
It's wild.
Yeah, we start off laughing about it. It's like, haha, it's kind of funny. But by the end of this week's session, we were like, totally fucking in. Like, we can't wait to keep continuing.
I was honestly kind of bummed that we hit our 80-minute mark, and JG was just like, all right, time to record. And I was like, but what happens next?
What happens next, though?
And each of the titles of each episode is like completely unrelated to the episode.
Yeah, it's great.
The costumes look like garbage. Robin talks like this, boss. And he's like this weird like mobster type.
Yeah. He's like, he's like some kid from Brooklyn, and he's like, oh, boy, hey, Batman, Brucey, boy, boss, what can I get? Can I get you a nice deli sandwich, huh?
Want some of that mozzarella, some Swiss cheese on that turkey sandwich?
Bruce, Batman, is just like, Robin, I don't think we should do that now. And it looks like like they wanted Lon Chaney Jr., but they couldn't get Lon Chaney Jr., so they got some guy that looks like him. That's like kind of a thinner version of him.
And also, you brought up that Robin looks like Homeboy.
He looks like Michael Rooker, who played Yondu in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Yeah, he looks like a young Yondu.
Yeah, well, he looks more like Michael Rooker would have looked like when he was in 8 Men Out. When he played, which is a baseball movie. You wouldn't know that, Remy.
Nope. I don't know shit.
But some
if it
listeners
has to
might
do with
know
sports.
8 Men Out, about the 1919 White Sox throwing the World Series. Anyway, it's a great movie. Let's get into the first 4 episodes of Batman and Robin from 1949. And each episode starts off with this really rad intro where it's like na 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 na.
And it's like this completely black background, and it's Batman and Robin, our heroes of the show.
Yep.
And they I feel like the director was like, all right, so we're gonna film this for the intro. You just like run towards the camera and then stop and then like look confused for a minute and then keep running. And that's exactly what they do.
But because like there's text over them, it's like they're looking at the text, go like, what is this?
Yeah,
I don't understand. What are these floating words doing here?
It seems like they're making eye contact with the names.
Yeah, and let's just talk about the costumes for a second. They're actually really.
Let's start with Robin.
Yeah, let's start with Robin.
I think his is all right.
Yeah, it's all right. It's got like this kind of felt R, like you could tell it's like a felt R just patched onto his chest.
I mean, I'm sure y'all are familiar with, kind of
OG like
pantsless
Robin.
Yeah. And that's what they're going for.
Yeah, with the tights.
He's got like this leather mask. I think it's leather. It seems leathery.
Oh, it looked plastic to me.
Oh, it's probably plastic now.
But it's like this big like oval thing. Like
that
it just takes up like half
shape.
his. Yeah, it takes up half of his fucking face.
Yeah. The eye slits are really small. So it seems like he can't really see.
Yeah, he's got curly hair.
And then pretty much the rest of the costume is kind of spot on for
we don't know what the color scheme of it is because it's in black and white. So
I imagine it's like very vibrant colors to counteract the black and whiteness.
Yeah,
And then we get to Batman.
And for the most part, the Batman suit is very faithful to what the suit looked like in the comic books at that time.
Like the old detective comics.
Yeah. The one thing they don't have is, well, you can't tell because it's in black and white, but I'm wondering if he wore purple gloves.
Yeah. Those little glovies.
So it's good for the most part.
But his ears are like
his
really
cowl.
Yeah, the whole mask, and we'll get into the cape thing in a minute.
He's got a really long nose.
Yeah,
it looks like Il Dottore from a Commedia dell'arte.
Yeah, where it's that big pointy nose.
Yeah, the beak.
Yeah,
and then the ears.
So instead of having like the classic bat ears, they kind of I think they did the cowl just as what is that called? It's like a balaclava. It's like the ski mask thing that criminals wear. Sure. Balaclava, I think is what it's called. Or at least that's how it's pronounced. It's spelled similarly to that. I've only read it, never heard it. So it's like they did that where it's just flat round against the head, and then I
Yeah.
think that they were like, oh shit, he's got ears. So then they just like took some extra cloth, stuffed it, and then like stitched that together, and then just stitched it back
stitched
on.
it onto the head. Yeah.
So they look like weird horns that like flop over most of the time.
They don't, because the cowl, the ears are on like on
Straight
the
up.
sides.
Yeah.
Even in OG comics, they were on the sides, and they went
And they
out
did
a
kinda-
little bit.
yeah.
but they
But
still
they were
were
at
on the
least on
side
the side
of the
of his
heads.
head.
Yeah.
This
These
one
are
is
just, like
like
right on top.
horns.
Yeah, they look
Yeah.
like horns. Because I kept saying, oh, the horns. And everyone's like, they're ears. I'm like, I know they're ears, but they look like fucking horns. Like,
Yeah.
If we have not told you guys already, like, we are both huge Batman fans.
Love me some B-Man.
Like he's my all-time favorite.
He's not my favorite, but
he's-
I grew up. Actually, fun fact: when I was a kid, I thought I was Batman,
Okay.
and my ma actually made me like a little Batman like cowl and cape, just out
nice.
of cloth. Very similar quality to this costume.
I had a Robin costume, actually.
Dude, this was a podcast that was destined to happen.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
My
but,
gosh.
But I would not take that shit off. And I specifically remember going to like some kind of like carnival with my ma, and I just like roll up to some booth vendor and I'm like, and if you see Joker, tell him I'm coming. And like I was seriously into this shit. And she would have to be like, all right, Remy, take off the mask because you're going to be Bruce Wayne. You can't let them know you're Batman. I'm like, okay. And that's the
right.
only time that I would take it off.
I think I also had a Riddler costume.
Oh shit! So
because-
we're also enemies.
Yeah, because like Riddler is one of my favorite villains, Batman villains.
I can see you being a Riddler.
Let's actually get into the Batman costume looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like at first it's like, no,
kinda
it's pretty
got a
good, and
beer
then as we
belly,
went on,
too.
as we went on, it's like, yeah, it doesn't really look that good. Actually, yeah, he's got a beer, but like he's not fat. He's just kind of
No, it's just ill-fitting.
well,
it just
no,
doesn't fit
it's
right.
kind of like it's kind of like how muscular men looked back in those days, where they kind of looked a little
I
like
always
bearish.
think about that. I always think
know?
about that. Why have human bodies changed over the years?
It's not that they have changed. It's just I think just diets have changed. So it's like how do you get fit? Like your regiment has changed,
Right.
So like, and there's different types of fit. Like, I mean, hell, look at here's a good reference because my girlfriend and I have been watching all the Marvel movies recently, and we just got through Thor, the Avengers, and then Thor: The Dark World, and Chris Hemsworth looks very different in all three in terms of like not just his hair because his hair changes constantly, but like from a muscular standpoint. In the first film, he's a little pudgy buff, where there's like a lot of there's a lot of I don't want to say fat, but
No, but he's just a bulkier-
yeah, he's bulkier. His muscles aren't as defined.
Okay.
Whereas by Dark World, he is ripped and cut.
Huh.
So I think it's just like different different eating habits
And methods of
Yeah,
like
methods
work
of
out
working
this
out, yeah.
more than this or whatever.
Definitely, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You
I always thought that Bruce Banner, he's not as buff as when he gets angry. So that's the biggest difference that I've noticed throughout the films.
Fuck.
Moving on, back to Batman.
Stupid joke. Back to Batman. All right, so this first episode is titled Batman Takes Over. And then we just see crime wave sweeps the city, like all these news clippings,
So it is the spinning newspapers coming at you, but the very first thing that it shows is eggs falling. And it's just like, I thought like, oh shit, that's a crime. Like somebody arrest that guy.
Yeah, fuck you for knocking over the eggs, god damn
Yeah.
it. And
And then it says like citizens demand more police.
yes. And as then we're introduced to Vicky Vale, who's
Vicky Vale.
yeah, and like she shows up at like Wayne Manor, I guess.
Except it's not Wayne Manor. It's literally, they say, the suburbs of Gotham, and
yeah.
it's just some house. But
Yeah.
but it's Bruce's.
Because like
and
we
it's
don't
nice.
like in
It's
this thing they
nice.
don't talk about Bruce's wealth at all, or if like that he's a millionaire.
They do say real quick though that he is like a millionaire playboy.
Yeah, but they don't like expand on it at all.
No, that's it.
Like
They just say it in the first episode.
Yeah, the first like 15, not 15, like the first 10 minutes of this episode is all just plot points. Where it's just like, Batman, you're here. And all right, so and okay, so there's Vicky Vale. Why do you have that camera? Well, because I have to take pictures. It's my job.
Because I'm a reporter. Yeah,
I'm
they
a
just
reporter.
literally say everything that they're doing. Alfred is even like, I'm the only one who knows your secret. Don't you think Vicky Vale is going to find out that you and Dick are Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
He's like, no, because we're going to send her on her way and go to Commissioner Gordon, my good friend. And then, like, they do that immediately or whatever.
And so, we get, like, that there's these bad guys trying to get this machine, right? And so then...
The Commissioner straight up tells them,
Yeah,
right?
and the Commissioner's like, well, I gotta summon Batman and Robin. So he takes out the bat signal, which is not how a bat signal works. He basically takes a projector.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if schools still do this, but remember when, like, your math teacher would, like, take a projector and then, like, slap some, like, little clear
like,
thing,
and
then, like,
write
draw
on it.
on it.
Yeah.
It's literally that, except he drew a bat on it and
he
then just,
points
like,
it at
points
the
it out
sky.
the window. He actually points it out the window. He's in his office still, and then just, like, turns it.
Yep.
And
like,
then
and
it's
that's
the
not
middle
how
of the day,
projections
too.
work. Yeah, it's the middle of the
day.
fucking day. It's like nobody's gonna see that shit.
So they just have a shot of, like, clouds and the sun, and then just a black bat that's just in the middle of it somehow.
And then Bruce gets Vicky to, like, leave because he's like, I'm tired. I don't want to go see Excitement or whatever.
I'm gonna take my vitamins.
I'm gonna take my anytime
Sorry,
he's like,
that's an excuse that he says later. He has a bunch of really good ones. I forget what the first one is.
No, the first
though.
one is I'm too tired, and then Vicky Vale's like, oh, you never want Excitement, and leaves.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Alfred and says, Alfred, is the Batman signal still on?
Which is jarring because it's always just the bat signal.
The bat signal. It's
the
like
Batman signal.
No, the man signal.
But no, shorten it the other way.
The Batman.
No. The only other option that we have.
The signal.
Damn it. Bruce, take your vitamins.
So then Batman and Robin go to find these bad guys, but the bad guys get this machine,
Yeah, they're stealing a thing. We don't really know
we don't know what the
it
machine
yet.
is yet, but it's important. And then we meet Professor Hamill.
Yeah, because
Not
they
Mark
immediately
Hamill.
stole it. We didn't really get to see them steal it, but they did steal whatever
they immediately
this thing is.
steal it. And then Professor Hamill is like saying, like, because Batman and Robin and the Commissioner are all there, and they're like, well, what is this machine? What does it do? And Professor Hamill comes in and is like, so, you idiots have lost my machine. I could have done a better job myself. He's this old guy in a wheelchair.
But Mr. Hamill, what does it do?
Well, it controls things. It controls vehicles magnetically.
I won't question any of that because this is the 1940s, and I believe in science.
Yep. It's basically, I think remotely it controls vehicles. It's like,
right.
Okay.
And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is powered by diamonds.
Yeah, it's powered by diamonds.
If you remember in our other Batman episode, I always had a problem with that film because Mr. Freeze needs diamonds for his gun, his car, and to fuel ice. And it's like, what do diamonds do that I don't understand? Because apparently they're batteries, they're a source of cold,
It was in
they're
1940s.
everything.
It was a lawless time.
It was a lawless
batteries
time.
could do anything.
Batteries could do anything. Batteries, diamonds could do anything.
We need to sell that as a T-shirt. Just it was a lawless time. That's become like our catchphrase.
Yeah.
now,
But seriously, he needs diamonds to fuel his machine that makes him control cars.
Yeah. It's like, why did you build a machine that controls cars in the first
Well,
place?
it controls cars and trains and planes.
Vehicles. Yeah.
Planes, trains, and automobiles is what it controls.
And there's John Candy and Steve Martin. Like, we
they're
will not
just
get through an episode without referencing planes, trains, and automobiles.
Well, it's because you're so good at all three of those sounds.
I know, right?
But yeah, so he demonstrates on like a tiny like train track, and like he has like two toy cars.
Yeah,
and
which don't have motors in them.
Right, and he somehow controls those with
Yeah.
his tiny version of his machine that
Right.
he demonstrates for Bruce.
And
it's
then,
like, this is how it works.
So then Professor Hamill like leaves and he goes to his fancy ass mansion.
Yeah.
And he's all like mad and everything. And
Also,
then
Hamill is wheelchair guy, right?
Yes, wheelchair guy.
So, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is what happened.
Mr. Hamill is like a skinny old man with glasses who's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So he scoots. Well, he has a like caretaker or whatever,
But he
which
tells
is
the caretaker to leave at one point.
hilarious when he tells the caretaker that they are both leaving because he's like, Jeeves or whatever his name is. He's like, Jeeves, we're leaving. And then Jeeves just like walks away from the wheelchair and
just
goes
leaves
to
him.
the door. and then opens the door and then goes back for the wheelchair. And I was like, oh shit! I thought Jesus was just like taking off.
Bye.
So yeah, Mr. Hamill.
Yeah, Professor Hamill's like at his home, and he's like, oh, leave me in peace. I must do my work or whatever. I must, do something.
Yeah.
And then he goes to like this room, and there's this chair in there. And he like,
it looks like an electric chair.
Yeah, and
but it's got like these weird squiggly LED signs
Yeah.
from a bar strapped to it.
And he like lifts himself into the chair, and then he like pulls a lever, and he just like,
and it powers up. It like,
yeah, and he like his whole body gets an erection.
that is the motion that he makes.
Yeah,
he
just like
takes a deep breath and gets really stiff and tall in the chair. And then motherfucker stands up and walks away.
I know, and he's like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Do you notice that too? That he's like super tall when he stood
I didn't
up.
notice that.
Oh.
I just thought like emotionally he's 10 feet tall. Like he's just empowered by
the fact that he can walk.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
And then he like puts on like these black gloves, and then he goes into his fireplace.
And that's kind of the last that we see of him.
At least for a while.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the last that we see him until that one
like the
time
third
later.
episode or whatever. Yeah.
And then the next scene, we like see these goons are like in this like basement or this lair with the machine. The machine.
Wait, isn't it them getting to the lair?
No, they're in already.
journey?
No, they're in already.
Okay.
And then the wizard approaches.
And the wizard is just like the most ridiculous looking villain. I mean, he's not that ridiculous. It's just so weird that this is what they chose to go with.
This is what they chose to go with. Like it's not that the costume is bad. It's just like, that's not the first thing I think of when I think of wizard.
And also what he does is nothing wizardly.
No.
I mean, I guess he's a wizard of technology.
Yeah, I guess so. He's the whiz of technology. But like the costume looks like a kid went to his mom and says, Mom, for Halloween, I want to be the Prowler.
Damn it, Johnny! I don't have time for your comic book nonsense. What do you want?
I want to be the Prowler for Halloween. From
the what?
The Prowler. He's from Spider-Man. He's a villain from Spider-Man.
What? Fine. What does he look like?
Well, he's got like this mask over his head, covers his entire face, and he has this cool cape, and he yeah.
Does his cape have a big collar?
It does.
Okay, I'll figure it out. And then
That's
they just
basically
like
what it
did
looks
that.
like. Yeah.
It's
But
like
looks
the
like a
right
really
shape.
shitty-
It's like the right shape of the Prowler.
But it's a
It's all
shitty
black,
Prowler
and
costume.
he's like wearing like suit pants,
Yeah.
like underneath all of this.
Yeah, and but his mask is pretty. I mean, like it does cool things later on, and we'll get to that.
Yeah,
but
it is like a sack.
So moving on, and so the wizard he tells his goons that they need more diamonds, and that he has a plan. And at that point, I said, "All right, Dutch," like from Red Dead Redemption 2,
dude, redemption.
where Dutch is literally saying every 2 seconds, "I have a plan. Don't worry, I have a plan." He says it like 500 times. I shit you not. And so the goons break into like this wholesale jewelry store. Then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's
They,
actually fun.
Yeah, and they break into this wholesale jewelry store, and they're trying to get away with diamonds.
And Batman and Robin are on their tail. Also, y'all know about the Batmobile, right?
Yeah, you mean the cool ass car? It does like all the cool, fun, fancy tricks, and kind of looks like a bat.
Right. It's like sharp and pointy, and has like sometimes it's got like a fin on the back and like a big turbo jet or something.
Mm-hmm.
So like 1940s cars, how they all just kind of look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Batmobile is. They like didn't do anything to.
Not only is it the
car.
Batmobile, it's the same fucking car Bruce Wayne drives.
Yeah, so what
just
they do,
yeah,
it's a convertible.
Yeah.
And if the hood is down, it is Bruce Wayne's car. If the hood is up, it's Batman's car.
It's the Batmobile.
So
it's like, how do they not tell? It's like, it just like the license plate just says, bats on it, and it's like, well, we know whose car that is.
No, it just says B-Man. Because then it could be like Brucey, like,
Right.
that's the
But still,
B-Man.
it's like the thing is, it's the same license plate.
It's the
either
same car.
way.
It has white wall tires. Like, it's
but,
actually pretty recognizable.
I mean, even if it's the same car, like every car in the 40s looked the same.
Yeah.
The fact that it has the same license plate, police would be able to identify that. Be like, this is Bruce Wayne's car.
I don't know, man. Brucey wasn't robbing anything. They aren't looking at license plates.
I know. Well, and,
It was a
in
lawless
this
time.
version, in this version of Batman like works very closely with the police. Like he's a deputized,
And so does Bruce Wayne, weirdly.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll get into that later on.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Bruce is also like a detective for the police, I guess. Like
It's
they have
weird.
no actual detectives on their police force. They just use Batman and Bruce Wayne, and they think they're two different people.
Right.
Or do they think they're the same person? Like, we don't know.
I don't know. That's why, like, I kept getting confused. I kept thinking that
It's
Commissioner
really
Gordon
weird.
knew that they were
But they never
Batman and Robin.
say it.
I don't know.
It's weird.
Anyways.
Yeah, moving on.
The
So, yeah,
goons are robbing a jewelry store to
Yeah.
get those diamonds to fuel who knows what.
Yeah, and
the computer system that controls cars.
Yeah, and then the wizard, like, because Batman and Robin, they're descending on the goons and they're trying to beat them up and whatnot. And a couple of the goons get away, but there are more diamonds in this truck that they had. And then the wizard like flips some switches on this machine and it blows up the truck.
Yeah.
But how he does it in that with that machine, he can heat up a vehicle so much that it catches on fire.
Yeah.
So it doesn't explode; it just catches on fire, and then it'll like explode because of like whatever.
And it's interesting. I kind of want to pay a little bit more attention to every shot that they have of the wizard tinkering with the machine.
If it's the same
Because
shot,
that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Because every time that they cut to the wizard from here on out for pretty much the rest of this series, from what we've seen, it's just the wizard in a laboratory with his crazy
Flipping some
costume,
switches.
and he's literally just like turning a knob, turning a dial, looking at something, and then there's those what's the thing that I'm trying to say that you peer down into? It's not a periscope. It's kind of a periscope, but it's
kinda
down.
like,
It's a looky box.
Yeah.
is what I want to call it.
like in the olden days where you would kind of like do like
you'd
pay, like,
toss in a
5
quarter,
cents.
yeah, or a nickel. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
it was
and
a
you,
lot
and
less
you'd
time.
look down in this little kind of
Periscope, I guess.
thing, and then you would see an image.
Yeah, it's got like.
But he can see anything with that.
Apparently, because he uses it
could
for
see the
X-ray to see
whole
through
world.
his security door.
Yeah, his door, and he can see like, which is just this like
rock
wall.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about that in a second. But
and like he can see like where Batman and Robin are, and he can
Yeah.
see like the whole city of Gotham. He can see up your pants.
I'm sure he can.
I'm sure
I'm
he
sure
can.
he
Hey,
has.
Wizard, don't look down there.
He's just like, yes, and like turns some knobs, and then looks down his little periscope up
Right.
into your pants.
And so yeah, so the machine blows up, and then the goon.
The machine doesn't blow up. He uses the machine to blow up a car.
Well, the machine, like every time he blows up a car or a vehicle, the
It
machine
does
like
fritz out.
sparks. Yeah,
It looks
it's really
like the
funny.
machine is about to explode, but that just shows that he's doing something
Yeah.
destructive.
Anyway, so the goons get away, and they kind of venture into what is supposed to be the Gotham Hills, but it's clearly the Hollywood Hills.
It's just like Runyon
like
Canyon.
Yeah, well, it's like walking up to the Hollywood sign almost. You
Yeah.
can see Los Angeles in the background.
Yeah.
And so they like take this bush.
They go up and they
Yeah.
move a bush and they go into a cave and then they go down
They
and there's like
replace
this
the bush.
you got to put the bush back
Yeah.
or else they'd know. And then
Yeah.
you go into this weird cellar that has like big crates.
Yeah.
And then don't touch the crates, just go to the ground and lift up the trap door
Yeah.
and go down into the submarine. So apparently there's like a lake or something.
Yeah.
So then they go down into a submarine where the wizard controls the submarine to bring them to a hidden base.
Yeah, basically,
And that's
how
how
it goes.
the
and then they
goons
approach
to and from.
They approach the base, and then he uses his little looky box to see who's behind the
Big rock
the
wall
big rock
trap
wall.
door.
Yeah, and then the door opens, or he sees like X-rays through that wall, and he sees the people, and he lets them in. And so yeah, it's really it's funny because like you see like this little. When they get in the sub to show like the shot of the submarine, you see like this little model sub going in this little like
Right.
little like crevice.
It's kinda
and
cute.
then they showed like old World War II like
Of
footage of
an
a
actual submarine.
Yeah. It was really there's like that is the most convoluted way to get to a layer ever.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. I like it every time we see it. I like it even more.
Because they do this multiple times where it's that exact path.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And the wizard then like says, there are more diamonds, on this plane, and we got to get those diamonds on the plane.
Right.
But Batman and Robin also know about the diamonds on this plane, so they tell Commissioner Gordon, "Hey, we'll fly the plane, and we'll make sure that it gets to the destination because we're Batman and Robin. Nothing bad happens to us."
Right.
And so then there's like this other plane coming up behind Batman and Robin. That's the goons. And Batman Batman and Robin just like look
They like turn behind them, being like,
as if
"There's
they were
somebody following us."
as if they were in a car.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, there's someone following us.
It's like, dude, there aren't like windows all the way
Yeah,
around.
you can't see, you know? You can't see right behind you.
They like
On a-
open up the moonroof and they're like, "Go around."
Yeah. Go around. Go around.
We're just parking. We aren't leaving.
Put the hazards on, Robin.
Yeah.
But then the wizard takes control of the airplane with his machine.
Yeah.
And he, instead of making Batman and Robin crash, he makes
them land nice and safely.
Yeah.
And then the bad guys land their plane behind them and tell them to get the fuck out of their plane because they've got the diamonds or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
they take the diamonds from Batman and Robin.
I was kind of confused about why the wizard didn't just crash.
Yeah, Batman and Robin try to
plane.
like get out and they like, you know, punch the guys, but then the guys take the diamonds from Batman and Robin and then they push Batman and Robin back into the plane and lock them in.
So that the wizard can blow them up now.
Yes, and then the plane starts catching on fire.
Gotcha. So they got the goods and that's... Okay.
The plane
that
starts
all cleared
catching
up.
fire. And then tune in next week for another rousing episode of Batman and Robin in Tunnel of Terror.
Which is so awesome to
know.
like see at the end of something. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, and then they show like
gonna
little
tune in
clips
next
of like the
week.
next... like what I noticed is that they never show clips of the very next episode. They show clips of like from an episode 2 episodes later.
Right, which
Did
is
you notice that?
great. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love that because then it doesn't spoil anything in the next episode, but you kind of remember it from so when you see
Like
it.
you'll
and
forget
you-
it by the time you see the third episode.
Yeah.
And be like, oh hey, I remember I seeing a clip from that.
Did you ever watch Arrested Development?
Oh yes.
So at
They
the
would
end
do
of
that
every
all the
episode,
time,
They would
yeah.
do that, but it would just
But it'd
be
be
a
a fake- yeah,
thing.
fake thing,
I
yeah.
loved that.
Yeah, it was so great.
Yeah.
And it's clearly like was based off of like things like this. You know?
Right.
Anyway, so all right, well that's our episode for this week. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Tune in next week for the Tunnel of Love or whatever it's
Tunnel
called.
of Terror.
Tunnel of Terror. Same thing.
So yeah, now we're
Depending
into
on your
chapter
date.
2, Tunnel of Terror, and so it opens up on Batman and Robin, and the plane is exploding, and we saw the plane explode in the first episode, but then in this episode they show that Batman and Robin escaped from the plane.
Yeah, they're
It
out.
exploded.
They out that shit.
Yeah, it was like a MacGyver type of thing, you know, where it's like they got out in the nick of time.
Right.
You know.
And it was a huge ass explosion too.
It was. It
Like
was pretty big.
based on the distance that they were running from it, they totally would have died. But
And then they somehow the goons are not back on their plane. They're just kind of looking around or whatnot.
they do this all the time,
Yeah.
and it's my favorite
They
because
just
they'll
take
like
a smoke,
hang out
yeah.
and they'll have like a smoke break and
Yeah.
stare off in the distance, all looking in one direction,
Yep.
so that Batman and Robin can sneak up behind them.
Yeah,
and it happens
but
maybe like
they don't
4
sneak,
times.
But Batman and Robin don't sneak up behind them. They just sneak into their plane.
Right.
Which the interior of their plane is the same interior of Batman and Robin's plane.
This happens multiple times. If anything is at all similar, they just use the same set piece.
Yeah, why spend money on it? I don't
Yeah.
know what the budget was for this. I'm assuming it wasn't. They didn't have much,
Right.
so they had to like just kind of reuse sets.
I mean, that's smart. I would do that.
Yeah, cut corners.
Yeah.
Except they could have done better to dress it
to mask it. Yeah.
differently.
Change it a little bit.
You
At
know,
least
so it doesn't
like
look the
flip,
exact fucking same.
like at least like mirror it or something so that it looks like different.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But they didn't even do that. It's like literally the same shot.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the same camera setup.
Yeah.
Well, what they probably did was like, all right, we're gonna shoot all of the interior plane scenes right now, and or I don't know, could you do that back then? Where you film things out of place? I'm not sure.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you could
splice
just like
that.
splice it. Yeah, right. You could. I'm stupid. You could just
Yeah.
splice it together. Anyway, so yeah, they get out of the plane. They get into the other plane.
Right.
And so the goons get into their plane unawares that
The Batman and Robin are in the bad guy plane now.
They're in the back.
Because they thought that they just blew up Batman and Robin and their plane.
Yeah, they think they did.
Yeah.
They're like, Batman and Robin are dead. And then
And there's a goon who has
his
a
name is
bag of-
Nolan.
Oh shit.
That's Nolan.
Nice. Good job,
Yes.
dude. Jimmy is the pilot.
Jimmy's the
we
pilot.
know that.
Yeah, and we know Jimmy and Nolan. The rest of them
We
were
tried
just
to clock
goons.
all the goons' names, but they're all identical and wear the same exact suit.
So we just call them goons.
Yeah.
And
but
it's like,
but
yeah.
Nolan has a bag of diamonds. It's like a
Yes.
small envelope that's wrapped up with twine, and he's got that bag of diamonds. And he even checked it. He pulled out like that magnifying glass monocle and
yeah.
looked at the diamonds, and he was like,
They're the real
"Yep,
thing.
that's the real shit." And but he doesn't say that.
Yeah.
And then he sticks it in his coat pocket. So now Batman and Robin are in the like more passenger-y side of the plane, like
They're
more of
in
the back.
Back plane.
The hull.
They're in the back part of the plane.
I
They're
don't know
not
shit about
in
planes.
first class.
Yeah.
And so like Batman sees that Nolan
Nolan's
has
got the diamonds.
Yeah, has the diamonds there. So and then
And Batman pulls out of his underwear that's outside of his pants an identical bag, and he's like, "Hey, Robin, this is like totally not diamonds. I'm gonna do a prank."
Hey, Batman, where'd you get that bag?
Oh, this bag?
Yeah.
I've just had it in my crotch pocket for a while.
Ew. Why is it warm?
Well, because it's been in my crotch pocket. Don't you use... Wait, why aren't you wearing your pants?
Don't look at my penis.
That's fine. Okay,
I
I'm gonna
call
go...
it little dick because it's my dick and I'm Dick.
Wait, that's why I've been calling you Dick?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go switch this diamonds with his diamonds, but this is not diamonds. So he's gonna be like, "Whoa." But he's like, "No, I'm gonna know it all." Okay, I'm gonna go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then he like opens up the door.
I like your like high school girl version of Batman.
Is that what high school girls sound like to you?
Like Valley girls, you know, like oh my god, I'm just gonna go do that.
I'm just
oh my
gonna go
god.
use fake diamonds. Okay, Batman! And then he like runs out. I mean, okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting excited. He does not run out. He sneaks out. And he totally...
Yeah, he does a little sneaky sneak.
He does do a sneaky sneak. They do really good sneaky faces because it's the 40s and you gotta exaggerate fucking everything you do.
Yeah.
And he totally just swaps the diamonds out of his coat pocket.
Because Nolan is sleepy.
Yeah. And Nolan like wakes up for a hot split and he's like, "Muh!" And then the other guy, sorry, the other guy's like, "What's up?" And he's like, "You know, for a second there, I thought I didn't have the diamonds, but obviously I still got the diamonds, boss. So I guess I'm just gonna go back and take my nap."
Yeah.
And he does.
And then, yeah.
And then Batman's just like, "I totally fucking did it." Robin, look, I got diamonds.
Batman,
I got diamonds.
Don't put those
I'm
diamonds.
gonna put them in my crotch pocket.
Don't put them in your crotch.
Oh
Put
my
'em-
god.
Okay,
oh my god.
no,
Fuck. They're so cold.
well, take them out of your penis.
No, it's too... Whoa.
Anyway, moving on. Ow, that would hurt. Moving on. So
I don't fucking know what happens next.
the plane lands.
Okay.
And the goons like go to their lair, and Batman and Robin like lose the trail. I don't know how they lost them. They weren't that far behind them, but they lost them to go to the lair.
Well, Batman jumps out and like doesn't he like beat a couple of them up for a second?
Oh,
And
well,
then some
no.
of
So
them
this
get
is what
away?
happens. So this is what happens. The goons leave, and then like 2 like airplane mechanics come to like fix the plane, and Batman beats those guys up.
Wait, he just like beats up some random ass mechanics.
No, they work for the wizard, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, I do not remember
Hey,
that.
Batman, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything.
Hey, Robin. You see these 2 like fucking assholes coming to fix this plane?
Batman, stop. No, they're probably nice
Batman.
guys. They got
Batman.
they got
Punch.
wives and kids.
Punchy, kicky.
More like just jump on and like, you know,
Batman
roll
does
up.
a bunch of like belly flops in this
he does.
series.
And
That's
Robin,
like his main fighting move is just
Robin
like
sucker
jump
punches
arms open.
Yeah. Robin sucker punches everyone, and Batman just like jumps on people.
Yeah.
You know, and then his cape gets all like, you know, tangled around and
Oh
everything.
yeah, because with the weird costumes, they don't really like stitch down the capes to his
No, not
shoulders.
at all.
So it just like turns around like frontwise, and now Batman's got an apron for like a hot second as he's like
Yep.
punching people. He's like, "Oh, Robin."
Stop.
I'm sorry, I really like doing that voice for Batman. I'm the knight.
I'm the Dark Knight, yes. So the goons, Batman and Robin, they don't find the secret passage, so they're like, well, fuck, I guess we better steal a car and just drive away.
Right, they like aren't driving the Batmobile when they like get away.
They steal a car, but before like we see them like, you know, drive off to like see some other stuff, the goons and the wizard find out that the package of diamonds has no diamonds.
Yeah,
in
it was a fake.
and it leaves like a Batman calling card in it, and it's like a Joker joke.
hey, Robin, I thought it was, like, super funny to, like, put a Batman card in there.
It wasn't.
So they know.
Bruce, it wasn't that funny.
So, well, yeah, but now they know. They know it was me.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a. I think that would just piss him off more
Right.
than like they. I don't think they would laugh.
I fucking love it. I'm gonna go call Alfred. Hey, Alfred!
Yes, Master Wayne.
Uh,
I hate living here.
yep.
Oh gosh. So yeah. Then we see Batman and Robin in the car they stole, and they're like saying, Batman's talking about how isn't it weird that where those goons went is very close to Professor Hamill's house and Professor Hamill's estate. Then they hear a scream.
And Bruce is just like, that came from Hamill's house.
Well, it's still Batman and Robin.
Are you...
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's what I've written in the notes.
Yep, so
Yeah.
so it must be true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there is a woman scream, and they go up to Professor Hamill's mansion,
And
there's
see-
a lady with
yeah.
her foot in the ground.
And it's Vicky Vale.
Yeah.
Their foot like
and she's
stuck
got
in
like
the
her
ground.
big ass old timey camera, and she's
Yeah.
like at a window outside of the house, and it's
Fucking
like
peeping Tom.
And then Professor Hamill comes out and he's like, "What's the meaning of this?" in his wheelchair.
Whippersnapper.
And then apparently Batman and Robin, not Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, are just like manhandling this woman's leg out of the ground. And he's like, "I'm sorry for all of my man traps." And they do call it a man trap, don't they?
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of funny.
They do.
It's like, ooh, my man trap. So she's stuck in the man trap, and he's like, "I'm sorry, if you're hurt, I'll pay for it. Goodbye." And rolls
Right.
away. And that's
And
kind
it's
of
like
the
that-
end of that.
Yeah. So
Right?
there's really no point to it. But I think there's really no point to that scene at all.
Other than Vicky Vale is on to him being fishy for some reason.
Yeah.
But we don't even know that yet.
And then we're introduced to this character. Well, this isn't the first time we're introduced to him, but like this is where things start getting fishy. There's this character, his radio news reporter named Barry Brown.
Barry Brown.
Yeah, and he always keeps reporting. He's like, I suspect that criminals are gonna do this thing, and then
And
it
they
happens.
do.
Yeah, and then the next day it's like, I successfully predicted that. It's like, or you just told criminals what to do, and
Right.
they did it. It's kind of like a Joker thing where it's like, at 12 o'clock tonight, this man will die.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And but the funny thing with Barry Brown is that he every time he like announces something, he says, "And now a look at the foreign news."
And everybody turns off their radio.
Yeah.
Like, he makes an announcement being like, "I think this bank is going to get robbed. And now for a peek at the foreign news." And then Bruce is just like, "No, fuck that. This is America, man."
Fuck that. Yeah. Now for a look at foreign news. There's communism in Soviet Union. There's communism in China. There's communism all over the place, isn't there?
Click.
Commies. Yeah, click. Yeah. And so, but in this specific report, and it happens every time. Like, we're not exaggerating. Every time there's a news report,
He does that.
he does
Take a
that, and
peek at the
everybody
foreign
turns
news.
off their. Everybody turns
That's like when
unanimously
the scene
turns off
ends,
the
yeah.
So in this news report, he's talking about that there's these explosives, X90
Yeah.
explosives on this train, and that he suspects that these goons are going to rob the train.
Right.
And Bruce and Dick are like, well, how does he know about the train, the shipment on the train?
Interesting. Let's
and-
investigate.
Yeah, so they decide to go investigate. And then they find like these two goons like, kind of go into the train station, and then they don't like fight the goons, but they go in after the goons leave. And then like this guy who works at the station is like, yeah, they were trying to get information on like a shipment for X90 and everything.
Yeah. And then just like openly tells Batman and Robin.
Well, he openly tells Bruce and
Sorry.
Dick. Yeah.
Sorry. Spoiler. Those
I
guys
know.
are actually Batman and Robin.
Oh shit!
I'm sorry.
They are. I didn't know that.
That's why Bruce always talks like this. Well, Commissioner Gordon.
But then he's Batman.
Nah, Batman's still just like this.
And so then the goons like later on, like as Batman and Robin, they go to stop the goons on the train, and Batman like gets on top of the train with the goons to like fight them.
Yeah.
And he does like this little wiggly, like it's like weird steppy step.
He's very wiggly throughout the entire show.
I know he is, yeah, but he like this weird little steppy step.
Yeah.
And he tries to like fight these goons, but then you see the tunnels coming up close.
Like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And that might be the title of this episode, is the Tunnel of Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
so we're getting excited, like, oh shit, here it comes.
oh shit, and then right as they get to the tunnel, will Batman survive? Will Robin have to fly on his own? Tune in next week for the next chilling episode of
Robin's
Wild
Wild
Ride
Ride.
at this theater next week.
Yeah. So, I guess Tunnel of Terror meant nothing. You give it a more exciting
3.
theme song than I think it has.
I know, yeah. Episode 3.
I feel like the theme
Robin's
song is
Wild
more
Ride.
like, let's all go to the lobby.
No, stop that.
Lobby.
So here we are, Robin's Wild Ride, Chapter 3 of Batman and Robin.
Delicious in your mouth.
Out your butt, through your nose.
100% true.
Do not dispute. So, yeah, there's nothing to worry about. Batman survives the fucking tunnel thingy, you know. The train stops, and he jumps onto the goons. And like the goons are like just
His classic Batman move where he just leaps onto somebody.
You know, he just leaps onto somebody. And he tries.
Also, we said earlier, but this is another moment that it happens. The goons are just like hanging out, being like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I really like your tie. How about another cigarette?" Yeah. And then that's like what they do when they aren't on screen.
Exactly.
Apparently. So it'll just cut to them, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, you know, just smoking, being goons, and talking like this, and wearing suits.
And then
I like your hat. It looks just like my hat."
Hey, and his hat looks like our hats.
Yeah, wow, we should be a whole crew. Oh, that's why we all got hired at the same time. Yeah, oh, what's that guy doing up there? And then all of a sudden Batman's like, I'm gonna jump on you. And then just like jumps on them.
And so the goons get X40, or the X90 explosives.
X40 was like, you know, not as strong, so they like upped it.
Upped it, you know, by 50, you know. Yeah. Like, shouldn't we go X50? No. X90. Okay.
Like a little bit overkill, buddy, but sure, I guess it'll do the job.
X90! I run an explosives company. I want X90.
Okay, whatever you say, boss.
Yeah, that's how that board meeting went. And the goons get the X40, so the X90, and and so Batman and Robin get in the Batmobile, and they're like, you know, charging after them in the car. Batman. But then the Wizard is like Nolan in the car is like, no, car forward to headquarters, the Batmobile's hot on our tail. And the Wizard's like, I'll do this.
Let me do the only thing that I do, which is just turn knobs and
flip switches and look at my lookity box.
I love his lookity box. It sees everything, man.
I want a lookity box.
Yeah, it'd be like, I wonder what's up in Seattle right now.
I know, right?
Just like look, it's like, oh, it's mountains. It's like,
it's raining.
Yeah.
And then the Batmobile just starts swerving, but like swerving like crazy.
Yeah,
swerving.
it's all over the road. It's like,
the poor Batmobile.
You mean that normal car
Yeah.
that looks just like Bruce Wayne's car, except its hood is up today?
Yeah, but then like I guess they're fine because then we just cut to Bruce and Dick like at home, and they're just like, I wonder how Barry Brown gets his information.
Why don't we turn on the radio?
And then, well, no, the radio's already on, and they're like, oh, Barry Brown, let's move closer to the radio by 5 feet.
So they like scoot across the room and go to the radio to show that they're listening to the radio, even though you can hear it already.
Yeah, and then Barry Brown says that the goons will get the detonator because they only have the explosives. They need a detonator though to
right.
They need a specific detonator for these explosives.
Right.
And there's a man named Morton who made this detonator, and that's where they're going to try to get the detonator from.
Now let's take a peep at the foreign news.
Click.
Not gonna listen to that shit.
Yep.
But also, real quick, because this is something that JG and I were talking about while we watched this. So their first mission was to get diamonds. Then their second mission was to get explosives. Now they're getting the detonator. Now they did not get enough diamonds because Batman took some.
Right.
Is their machine okay?
No.
Should they go back and get more diamonds before they do all of this?
We can't just have the whole fucking thing about diamonds, you know.
Right, but they don't have enough based on what they had planned.
I know. Diamonds apparently are not a wizard's best friend.
Yeah, that's what they say on the television.
Yeah. And so yeah, they just kind of forgot about that they need more diamonds. Like they were so mad about like the diamond pack not being real. And
Yeah,
like,
it was like,
well,
we're missing some diamonds.
Well,
we'll just keep using the machine, I guess.
I guess, who knows? Again, like it's like Batman and Robin from 1997. Like diamonds have
what do diamonds do?
What do diamonds do?
I know that they're forever, but other than that, I don't know.
Batman has weird issues with diamonds. They really do though. So Vicky Vale goes to like see this man named Morton, and she's like, that Barry Brown had a report about you, and then the goons just show up and they shove Vicky Vale into a closet.
Oh yeah,
and they just take Morton.
Yeah.
Yep.
Done and done.
Done and done, and yeah, and so then like Morton is brought to he's brought to like this
room.
This room, and we don't know where the room is, but he's brought to this room.
It kind of looks like a little apartment. Like it's not like some cellar or anything. There's like a fireplace and like shit around. There's like a bed.
And then they're like, the boss will be here in a second. Sit tight. And then like in this mirror in the doorway, we see
the Wizard
of Gotham.
Yeah, and he's just like standing there, and he gets all like weirdly lit, and he's just like, Morton. It's kind of like a Mask of the Phantasm style thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Where he's like, who's the dude? It's not Falcone, but they like give him another name. Fuck.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
What is my brain thinking? It's like he would say like, Carmine Falcone.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember the name right now.
You're dying today or whatever. And that's when he like falls back into the grave, and the big angel falls on top of the grave.
Right.
Yeah.
But like this, like in this one, they're like saying like, we, give us the information, like give us the location of the detonator.
No, I will never give you the information on the detonator.
Oh, you won't?
No, you would have to make me, but not in the face.
I intend to make you. And then his eyes like glow. They go like,
there's like a cut to him with like new LED eyeballs.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
Yeah,
it was a
cool effect.
Shit.
Like, especially for back in the day. Like, they nailed that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Because before you could totally see that he's just like some dude in a mask. But then on this cut, he's totally just got like little Christmas lights for his eyes. And they're like flashing.
And then Morton's like, I forget what the location was, but he tells him where the location was.
Room 304.
Yeah, it was like in the Vault 10.
Yeah.
Something around.
Yeah, he like gives an address, says Vault 10, and the code is this.
Yeah, and so they're like, all right, bye. and the wizard disappears.
Yeah, lights go dim, come back up, and he's gone.
Yeah, and then randomly, Vicky Vale is found in a broom closet.
Right. She came out of the closet. What?
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then she immediately
R.
goes...
Kelly.
Yes. And she immediately goes to Bruce Wayne to tell him the horrible news. And
Bruce gives another golden excuse.
Oh, yeah, because then the bat signal appears, and she's like, oh, come on, Bruce, we need to do something fun. I need to, like, get away from that. And he says, Vicky, you need some rest.
I need to take my vitamins. And then apparently is gone for hours because of what ensues.
That's how long it takes vitamins. To take vitamins takes hours.
Also, real quick because this is another scene like when the wheelchair dude was like, we're leaving, and then the help just like leaves and then but then comes back. This was another one of those moments for me in my brain because like Alfred looks out the window and he's the one who sees the bat signal. So he looks out the window, sees it, and then just closes the window.
Yeah.
And just like walks away. And I was like, oh, Alfred's just like, not today. But then he goes and tells Bruce.
And then they cut to like the company that Hamill owns, I guess, because he's like sitting there with like, a couple other business people there. And, they're saying like, and I guess they're waiting for Morton to show up. And,
I don't know.
And they're just like, oh, I don't think he'll show up, And he says, oh, well, just wait a few more minutes.
Right.
And then you see like this like keypad for like all the different like with all these different numbers. And some
was
hand.
Kind of weird.
I thought it was Hamill's hand, but maybe it wasn't.
Because it's probably not the wizard's hand because he wears gloves.
Right.
Unless it's the wizard without his gloves on.
Yeah. But some hand presses the number 10, and these goons are standing outside in the
Vault
back.
10.
Yeah, in the back of the company.
Or like Warehouse 10 or whatever.
Yeah, and it's called Vault 10.
Yeah.
Actually, it said Vault 10 on it, and the door opens magically. So they go in and they get the detonator.
I mean, just us talking about it, that sounds like some wizard shit. Controlling like electronic mechanisms.
Probably is the fucking wizard. Yeah. And so they get the fucking detonator, and they get the fucking detonator.
So now they've got the 3 things that they need so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So they get the detonator and they take off, but then Batman and Robin are hot on their tails. And they're like, "We're gonna fucking take you fuckers down."
Yeah, we're gonna. Hey, Robin.
Yeah, Bruce.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should totally take down these bad guys.
I don't think
I'm gonna go after them in my car.
What? No.
No. I'm going really fast now.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yep. Here we go, Batman time.
And then Batman tells Robin "Oh, stay behind here. I'm gonna check around the corner because we don't know where they're doing around the corner." And of course, what are the goons doing? What are they always doing?
Oh yeah,
taking a smoke.
Yeah, they
another smoke break.
This was the most jarring goon smoke break because they're kind of in a pursuit. Like they're being chased.
Why did they stop?
They're being chased and they go around a corner and Batman stops being clever, being like, I'm gonna climb up this mountain so around the corner I can jump down on them or something. But the goons also pulled over for a smoke break, apparently.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah.
And then Batman belly flops on top of them and he tries to fight them and but then this one goon he grabs a crowbar.
Yeah. And he comes at B-Man.
Yeah,
and
Batman
gives a couple swings. He dodges.
And then B-Man grabs the crowbar.
Yeah. So now B-Man's got a crowbar, which I thought fuck yes.
Fuck yeah, Batman
whoop
with
that
a crowbar.
ass.
And but then it electrocutes Batman. It gets all zappy.
And we're like, what the fuck's going on? Cut to the wizard dialing knobs. Apparently he can just do that to anything.
Yeah.
Because that's what Diamond's power.
Maybe it's because it's made of metal?
I guess? But weren't they also controlling little toy cars? Oh, but those were probably metal too because it was the 40s and it's...
With lead-based paint.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but also just it would be made out of die-cast steel, I would imagine.
And lead-based paint, yes.
Yes. Well, sorry. We always need to bring up lead-based paint because that's a bad thing.
Yeah. Lead-based paint.
Yeah.
And so
then, Batman gets zapped by the crowbar.
This funny little wiggly with his legs again.
He does knock his knees.
He knocks his knees.
He does a 1, 2, 3 of his legs and then falls down the hill of fucking Hollywood.
Yeah, and then he falls down the hill and then will Batman survive? Will Robin find a way to rue the day? Tune in next week for the next episode of Batman and Robin in the chapter 4, Batman Trapped. Which he was never trapped in.
Right.
I mean, it was never Robin's Wild Ride in Chapter 3.
It was also not a tunnel of terror in
fact,
any way.
Robin's Wild Ride should more have been the title of Chapter 4.
You're actually totally right.
Yeah.
Because he has a wild ride.
He does have a wild ride.
It's kind of like a whoa.
So we get into Chapter 4. Ra, 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 da, da, ra,
Batman, and Robin, and Commissioner Gordon. It's got Vicky Vale and Alfred and the Wizard and Goons. Those are the lyrics.
Coming with a new mixtape.
Yeah.
Obscurities of the Silver Screen. So, Batman falls down the cliff. And Robin is taken by the goons. I didn't know Robin was a weak-ass little bitch, but he was taken by the goons.
Yeah, because he was waiting by the car, like Brucey said, and I
think this was planned.
I think this is always so silly, because this happened a couple times in the show where where Batman's just like, all right, we can totally take down these guys, like, if we were together, but you know what, fuck that, Robin, you stay at the car.
Yeah.
And Robin's like, oh, sure, boss.
Because, the sidekick goes get coffee,
Yeah, I guess.
The sidekick goes to get coffee. Oh my god. Anyway, and then Robin gets taken by the goons, and he's like in the back of their truck, and then he like wakey's up, and he's like, ooh, there's like this oil can.
He keeps doing secret face too, because he's like playing dead. He's totally playing dead, and then he just like peeks open one eye and like looks over and totally sees this like barrel of wine.
Well, no, it's an oil can.
It's oil.
Like, it looked like wine pouring out.
Because it's totally got that tap that you like, and then it just like goes. So he's like spilling it out, leaving a little trail for B-Man.
To find, because Batman climbs up the cliff
very slowly. It takes him most of the episode to like get up this hill again.
Yeah, poor guy. You know, he's trying. He needs to
can't
work
see out
more.
of that mask, and his
I know, like
cape's all
every time
over
he
the place.
jumps out of places, he has to like readjust his mask. It's pretty.
And you
bad.
see the actor do that.
You see the actor move like the mask up. It's pretty bad.
The entire costume is not designed to move.
No, it's
not even designed to stand still, because we see some of the photos and they look like garbage.
Yeah.
Realistically, though, watching this, it's not that bad.
No,
it's pretty bad, but it's not that bad.
Yeah,
it's just when it's in motion, it's like not functional. Like anytime he moves his shoulders, his entire face moves, and then it's like, oh, gotta fix that.
So then Robin is like taken to this like shack, I guess, but then he like totally like decks the guys that
so quick.
him. So quick.
It's like 1 second, and he's
like
out.
He's like 1, 2. Then he pulls his tarp and like covers the other 2 guys with it.
He's in the back of the truck. Some dude checks him. He kicks him, jumps up, punches the other dude, grabs a sack, sacks the 2 guys who are coming up at the back of the truck, and then jumps off the truck.
Yep.
So now it's like 2
nothing.
dudes down in the back of the truck, and then 2 dudes stuck in a net behind the truck.
Yep.
So good.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah, no, I actually like Robin's fight scenes in this. I think he's pretty
a cool
good.
fighter. And
like
so
they do like kind of acrobatic stuff with him, which is nice.
Yeah, and so then he investigates the shack that you see, and then you see goons go into, and the shack is where Morton is being held.
Yeah, that's that weird apartment.
Yep. And so then Robin like sneaks into the shack, sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, sneaky.
Ooh, hush.
Ooh, hush. And the wizard appears again. And he's trying to get Morton to tell him the formula for like the remote explosives, because I guess like they need like this formula for the detonator to work on, to like what I'm assuming is that they're gonna put the explosives in different parts of the city,
right?
And in the detonator, they need something for it, like they need a formula to make it work remotely, I guess, which is
they probably just need more diamonds.
They probably
I don't know.
They probably need more
diamonds. The formula
diamonds.
is just diamonds. And they're like, oh, that makes sense because of science.
But Morton refuses to tell them like the secret.
Right.
He refuses to tell them the formula, even when like they're trying to like well, then the wizard tries to hypnotize him, but then the wizard immediately, without any noise or anything happening, the wizard goes, "Someone else is here. Find him." You know?
And the one goon looks and he's like, "Hey, who's those feet behind the curtain?" And it just cuts to like
these 2
feet
shoes,
cartoonishly behind a curtain, like hide and seek, like you can't see me, I can't see you, like that sort of shit.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
It was
right
pretty
now.
bad,
and it's Robin's shoes.
And then they just shoot their gun. There's nothing there. Yeah,
and,
it's that old timey shooting, like where they would like throw the gun at it.
It's my favorite thing for some reason in old movies. Whenever somebody shoots a gun, they like extend their arm at the same time of pulling the trigger, so they're just like, "Bah, bah, bah."
And there's like no recoil from the shot.
You can't aim with that. You're just like punching a bullet out of a gun. So they do that a couple times at the curtain, and they like move the curtain. They're like, "Whoa, gee whiz, boss! There's no one here except for these boots." And there's just like boots on the ground. It's Robin's boots.
And then like Robin like gets some of the goons outside and then gets in a tussle with them,
which is kind of cool, because I was like, this is pointless, and then JG was just like
stalling for time for Batman to get there.
Smart.
Yeah,
actually a cool thing.
Some really smart guy. And then Batman finally does show up, and they defeat these goons. And they break into the shack and they recover Morton. I'm sorry, not Martin.
Martin.
And then they confront the wizard for the first time. And the wizard's like, "Haha, Batman and Robin, I will defeat you. I am your nemesis. I am evil." And all this. That's not what he says. But
right, but he does that bit.
He does that bit kind of thing. And then he like pulls out this gun like out of his cock, basically.
It was so jarring. He was like, "I've got one up on you," and then just pulls out a fucking pistol.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Out of his groin, like it just, like that. And then Batman just takes a rock and throws it at the wizard, but of course he's a projection, so it broke like the what we thought there was a mirror. And then Batman,
I thoroughly enjoyed though the fact that like somebody pulls a gun on Batman and Batman just throws a rock at him.
Rock.
I mean, I guess that's pretty good.
I know, right?
But anyways, the mirror breaks,
and then Batman's like, "It's a TV screen, like,
connected to his hidden lair."
It's like, how do you know that?
I don't know. He's a detective.
He's Batman.
I don't question
he knows
it.
all. Yeah. And then we get another brown broadcast. Another brown broadcast. My favorite type of broadcast, boy. Ew. But then he broadcasts that Morton is in the hospital, guarded by police.
Right. Also, he brags again that he stated that
Accurately predicted, like, stealing
the
of the
detonator was going to be stolen or whatever.
And where the detonator. Yeah, he has an ego.
He knows way too much about this shit, and that makes him sketchy.
Suspiciously.
Because we don't really know who the wizard is at this point.
So we have two options right now.
I've got
either
4.
Oh, you've got 4.
Yeah, and you can hear me out, but let me hear yours.
My 2 are well. Actually, let's hold on until the end of until we finish up here. Let's talk about the rest of the episode, and then we'll finish up. With that. Yeah. So they go to we have like Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson and Gordon and Vicky Vale, and they're all with Morton, making sure he's okay
in the hospital.
In the hospital, and this is where I really was like, does Gordon know that Bruce and Dick are Batman and Robin? Because he's talking about investigations openly with civilians. Right.
Also, earlier it was either this serial episode or the last serial episode.
Bruce calls him up.
Yeah, and it's just
up.
like, Commissioner, this is Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
We're on the tail of... And I'm like, dude, you forgot to say that you're Batman and Robin. Like, what are you doing? But apparently he's on the trail as well as Batman and Robin, and Commissioner Gordon just has them put together, or he
confusing.
knows. Yeah,
it's kind of really
so
confusing.
loose with it. Yeah. So at this point, I don't care.
And then there's these 2 goons disguised as hospital, dudes.
Like one's a janitor, one's like a dude carrying a thing of water.
He like brings like the food,
Yeah.
And then like the one guy, he like goes into the room and he somehow nobody notices this, but he places a radio into the flowers, and
he does such a sneaky face.
Yeah. He's like, oh,
nobody's looking. I'm just gonna put.
Okay, it's there.
Yep. Okay, and I'm just a regular hospital dude.
I mean, essentially, yeah. And then of course everybody comes back in, like Gordon and Bruce Wayne and Dick and Vicky Vale and whatnot.
And they're like, Morton, you must tell us the exact location of
they're not
where this
here.
Thing is.
They won't hear us.
Yeah.
Cut to the goons in their car listening in on the radio.
Let's dial back into that radio that he just put in the flower pot.
Right. And then Morton gives away the location of the formula.
Yeah.
And so then the goons know about the formula, but then they turn off the radio. Stupid for them to do that.
Right, you should probably just leave that on.
Yeah, because then it made which I didn't know radios do this when you turn them off, And
right.
the other radio is still on, but it goes...
And then it goes...
Beep! Yeah, and they all turn like, what is that? Oh, a radio.
It was a radio.
They've been listening into us.
And then Gordon's just like, oh, I'll get my men there immediately. As he like slowly walks the fuck out of the hospital. It's like, dude, hustle. Like...
Yeah, and then like cut to like another just kind of jump cut. They just jump to they're at the place where the formula is at, and the goons like trying to get it, and then Batman's like again, he's like, Robin, stay back, I'll go get them.
Right.
And he goes to beat them up, and then he electrocutes himself again.
Right.
Because he like hits he falls into a machine.
There was a machine behind him that he gets because he like clocks a couple goons in this room, and like one goon pushes him. And he, like, bumps into a pile of electronics and shocks himself.
Yeah. And that's the end of chapter 4.
So that's where we're at. Batman, drive a car that looks so normal. Everybody thinks that you are normal. Your name is Bruce Wayne. You do not bring any pain to your family because they're dead.
That's that.
Yep.
All right. My picks for who the wizard is.
Okay.
It's either Professor Hamill or Barry Brown.
Okay. Hear me out on this one because I was also thinking Professor Hamill, Barry Brown. But what if it's Bruce Wayne?
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I don't remember who it was, but I can tell you for a fact it's not Bruce Wayne.
Okay. Then it's Vicky Vale.
Yes, this manly voice is Vicky Vale.
Okay, I got one more. Alfred.
I got another one. Gordon. Actually,
You know what?
That'd be a good theory.
Makes sense. He
Wow.
knows what's going on, and he's right on the tail of crime.
I can't wait to pick this up next week, Remy.
Same.
It's gonna be so fun.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I like this.
Well, before we go away for the week.
Oh, we're gonna go away?
Yeah.
I always forget that I just like vanish into darkness for
Yeah.
a week, and then I
we
like
reappear. We're back.
What's going on? Can I go see my girlfriend? It's like, no, you must only do obscurities. And I'm like, oh shit, that's right. I forgot about the curse.
I made him sign a blood oath, to
Yeah.
this show. It is now time for this week's installment of Ed Wood Trivia.
Ed Wood trivia.
Yeah.
That was a new one. I'm working on it.
And so we gotta actually make an actual theme song at some point, you know.
I'll work on it.
Right, right.
I feel like I say that every time.
Remy, here is your question for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is rumored that Ed Wood received the Purple Heart because he was a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether he did or didn't, that's still up for debate. There are no records of it, but he claims he got one. Now, he once told fellow soldiers that he'd rather be killed and not captured or injured in war. He'd rather just be killed. Why would he have rather be killed than captured or injured?
Because they can fondle you.
You said that just so duh.
Yeah. It's like, no, I won't tell you where the thing is. And then the dude's like, well, what about this? And then just
Grabs your dick. Yeah.
And you're
Tickles the balls.
no, stop.
No, that's not
bad.
why. That's not
Bad.
why.
Stop. Okay, just a little bit more. And then, and that's the biggest fear I have. Wait. Ed Wood, that's right. Sorry. I blacked out for a second.
That's not the answer.
Okay, well then give me a fucking second chance. Okay.
A second chance.
Well,
okay.
because I feel like the obvious thing, because honestly, I feel the same way, is please don't torture me. If you want to rip my face off, that's fine. But if you're doing anything else, don't do it.
Right.
Just kill me.
That's okay. Okay. Do you want me to tell you what the answer is?
Yeah, because that honestly, that's probably the only thing that I can think of. If I was getting captured.
Yeah,
for the
but think
sake
about
of my country.
Ed Wood.
Oh, you're gonna watch all my films.
Okay. The answer is because if he was killed, he would not have to explain why he wore bras and panties underneath his uniform. Because he was a cross-dresser.
Yeah, right.
That's why he
That's
would
his
rather have been.
reason.
Yes, that was his reason.
But you explained it equally as fast as he could have been killed.
I know, right?
It's just why are you wearing this? He's like, I'm a cross-dresser. It's like, okay, done. There's no more conversation over that after that.
Right, because if he was killed, he wouldn't have to explain that. But if
Wait,
he was...
but somebody else would have to explain it. It's
No, nobody would have to explain it.
We
They'd
found
be
the
like,
body
well-
of Ed Wood, and he's wearing a bra and panties. Did anybody know anything about this? It's like, no, sir.
But if he was injured and they had to take off his clothes, they'd be like, wait, why are you wearing bra and panties? And he had to be like,
Oh, explain it to his army or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought he had to explain it to the dudes killing him.
Or that too, I guess.
What is this?
Boss is this. Yeah. Oh God, that'd be hilarious. Well, anyway,
Wow. That was a good one. Sorry that I
that
squeaked.
is the end of this week's episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Aww.
Oh man.
Man.
But it's okay. We'll be back next week.
We will.
With the next 5 parts of Batman and Robin from 1949.
Really enjoying these.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
We should do more of these serials.
It's actually really fun.
Yeah. We may do more serials in the future.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Specifically this era.
Yeah, well, because it's when the serials were probably
when
Flash
it
Gordon.
existed. Yeah.
Or Buck... Well, not that Flash Gordon. Or Buck Rogers, really kind of cool stuff, from back then. Yeah. All right, well, we'll think about that, and maybe we'll do it. And we'll... What?
Sorry, I just thought of something. You'll find out possibly some other week because I have an idea for a thing
we'll be
should
back
watch.
next week with episodes 5 through 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's 5.
Yeah.
5 through 9 of Batman and Robin 1949.
Ooh, we should sign off doing the little thing that it says at the end of the episode.
Will JG and Remy ever be able to finish Batman and Robin 1949? Will Remy eat farts outside? Tune in next week for another thrilling episode of Obscurities of the Silver Screen.
Yeah.
Hey guys, JG again. One quick word before we go. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find us at OOTSS Podcast. Again, that is at OOTSS Podcast. Make sure to send us your movie suggestions. We'd love to hear from you. If there's any weird movie that you love or maybe you've heard of and you want us to watch it, let us know. We may just watch it. Thanks again for listening, and tune in next week for another episode of Obscurities of the Silver Screen. Green. 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 Green.